Hello,
Yeah.
I'm Ray Rodriguez, and I'm actually going to show you today how to make martini. Most people think that martinis are for classy people, but honestly they're for anyone who wants to explore something new. Most people don't really know this, but gin is basically just vodka infused with juniper berries and any other things, usually also citron, which is basically called Buddhist fingers, and it's more like a lemon that has mostly more of peel to it, no actual fruit to itself. And a martini is basically made of two things: a base, like gin, and a mixer, like vermouth. Vermouth is actually an Italian sweet wine. It's really sweet. So most people, at first, when this was made 120 years ago, you used to go for the sweeter variety of things, right? And then Winston Churchill, one of his famous martini mixes, was basically filling it entirely with gin and just staring at a bottle of vermouth. To me, that's pretty dry for me. So let's try something else. First of all, you have to start off with a martini glass. You know, any variety would do. This is right here about a 9-ouncer. Right? Most martinis range around from 3 ounces to 5 ounces. So we have that out. You can actually have these chilled in your fridge first, or just pour some ice in it, like we have already here pre-crushed. Pre-crushed, and have it inside the glass itself. Just let it set aside so that you can use it for later. Let it cool off for a little bit. So for now, let's move on to the mixer. Most people have this kind of mixer here, where it basically has a strainer infused to the top and the container on the bottom itself. But you definitely need one of these for mixing drinks, especially for martinis, where measurement is key. This is called a pony, which is about 1 ounce up here, and then called a jigger, which is about 2 ounces. You definitely need something to stir it with, because some martinis, I'll go more in detail about that later. So for this, you have to have maybe about a cup of ice. So put some ice in there. And for this martini, the measurement comes from how you use it. So all you have to have is half a pony of vermouth. Just put it inside there. You know, it doesn't have to be exact, but about half should do. Put it inside the cup with the ice, and just kind of stir it around. From here, you just basically want the vermouth to just coat the ice. And after you're done stirring it, close it up, and then just strain it out. We say this is a bit of a waste. Not really. If you're going for a drink that you like, I think it's damn mighty well worth it. From here on, the ice cubes are coated with vermouth. You get some gin, and you put in 1 pony. You don't have to fill it to the top. A little bit would do. Put that in, and 1 jigger. This should be about 3 ounces of alcohol here. And gin is more of a aromatic alcohol. So most martinis are actually shaken, but for gin, I like just stirring it. Because when you shake it, it cools it down way further. It kind of prevents the smell from getting to your nostrils. When you stir it, it's a lot less harsh, leaving some of the character to stay with you. Put on the strainer, dump out this ice you had earlier. Just pour into the glass. Oh, can't forget the olive. Pour the martini mixture, and there you go. Usually, actually always, martinis that have a black olive is considered black eye. Martinis that have white cocktail onions are considered Gibson. If they have a bit of brine from, you know, the olive container, it's considered dirty. It has basically a little bit of shot of whiskey, considered smoky. But for me, I honestly like just putting a little bit of smoked sea salt, making it a little bit dirty and smoky at the same time. Some people do enjoy when they first try martinis, a half and half. It's basically just half vermouth and half gin. and that's considered a perfect martini. And this is actually common knowledge everywhere you go to, any bar. And this reminds me of one gentleman. His name is Frederick Henry. Ernest Hemingway was actually a pretty big fan of him. One thing he said is, I never tasted anything that tasted so cool, so free, made me feel so civilized. And those are words of a gentleman. From here, just go out to the world, explore the liquor that you have. You may not be an alcoholic, but just try things out there, because without these new experiences in your life, you don't really live life itself. Just go from there. Amen. Cheers.